This is Chris Hex, and I am proud to say that it is now the time to introduce and to bring forth the Nordic One himself, Brian Lewis. This guy has been rocking the scene since before even I came around. This is the one and only Etched in Stone creator and singer, as well as the one that is now creating Nordicfrost. He's also in StoneGraphics. He's also in Stoneproduction. This guy's been all over the place, and he is one hell of a personality. Everyone, without further ado, Brian Lewis. What's
Hey,
up,
Chris?
boys?
Thanks.
How's it going?
It's good. It's good. How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm excited. You know how long it's taken for me to get you on here? I'm ecstatic. So, so let's just like break this down, but let piece by piece of your legendaryism. Put it that way. Um, you are and have been the most one of the most badass band to come out of the Central Valley, Etched in Stone. Tell us how that legend started.
Actually, Etched in Stone, Nordic Frost, believe it or not. Uh, Practices with members of previous projects that I was involved with, Heretic. A kind of more hardcore sound, metal was adopted, and eventually it just kind of we're gonna do. So Nordic Frost got put on the back burner when Etched in Stone formed. With the was Brandon Guth, Nathan Anderson, and myself, and we read almost kind of sound
Wasn't
hardcore.
wasn't Aaron in there also at the time?
Not at that time, no. Aaron came in 2014. I want to say it was 2014.
Right.
Yeah, Etched in Stone goes way back. We did the thing for a solid 12 years almost.
Shit, man. Way to be a pioneer.
I don't know that I would go that far.
So so you've been so I've actually so in the past couple days since we've decided this, I've been doing some listening, just like I've been doing to the others also, and I have to say, you go you go extensive. Man, the wind's having fun with the winds have us. So you have actually have an extensive metal palette on Etched in Stone. Like, you went from melodic to Hellbringer to, geez, there's you go from like levels of metal, and it's intense. The one that I was listening to, uh, not just on Sulfur, but on what was it? It was I think it was The Edge of Humanity. I think that's the one that I was listening to. That it was very dark, but you had a melodic up up down wave to it, and it was different. And then you come out with Sulfur, and it's like, here we are, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, the thing that I always wanted to do with Etched in Stone that I feel like we into over the years was to combine brutal with a lot more of that melodic progressive feel. So wanted to kind of shift focus towards like an Opeth Mish kind of sound.
Okay, I got you.
And where we pretty much hit the nail on the head. Lineup, you know, Aaron and Eris and Crusher, working with all those guys was a fucking blast. Those guys are, and so it was very easy to put things together with those guys.
Oh my God, Aaron is a master of his craft.
He is a fucking badass drummer.
Oh my God, he's a beast. Like, Nothing But Losers just, man, they would not be Nothing But Losers without Aaron for sure. I mean, he does, like, he is one of the, in my opinion, one of the, I want to say one of the top. He's definitely one of the top drummers in the Valley for sure. I mean, he's worked with you guys. He's worked with Nothing But Losers. He's worked with Glitchkill now, if I'm not mistaken. His resume continues. I mean, it's extensive.
Yep.
So, I'm sorry, I kind of cut you off. Continue. You were talking about how you wanted Etched in Stone to be a mix of metals. Now, how did that idea come along?
Just decades of listening to hear and knowing what I want to put out, and the music just kind of just flowed.
There you go. That's one of the things we all look for when we listen to music as well as create music, is we look to make sure that harmonics all match up with not just the band members but the music in itself. So right. I have to say you nailed that. You nailed that hard with Etched in Stone for sure. Every single time I heard Sulfur or any of your other songs, just you wanted darkness. You got darkness. Like I have to say, like I'm over the song, the way you create like a doom poem of your music when you played in Etched in Stone was dismal in a good way. I'm trying to point out the good of being bad. You know what I mean? So you definitely nailed it. So tell us what's going on for the future. Like you are now on your way to creating Nordicfrost. What comes there?
So Nordic, what initially was the form. I've always wanted to do a symphonic black metal, and it was the summer of when we were on the way back from New York after playing a short run in Etched in Stone that the lyrics were Nordicfrost EP. And since then, marking this release makes 5 release points for Nordicfrost, and each one is definitely a step up.
I don't mean to probably like overstep, but like repeat. But on Mike Vanek's, you said that Nordicfrost is a solo project that you are mainly controlling by yourself. Is that going to, if you don't mind repeating some of the things that you said on his site, on his show, would you also like to repeat on if and when you'll be doing that with band members for the future?
Absolutely. The stance that I have on the subject is to get some hired guns in here to play this stuff. To work with, and you can ask anybody that that has with me that I'm not easy to get along with sometimes. I gotta wanting to control things. And
Well, of course,
so
Nordic
with
Frost
Nordic
is your
Frost,
baby.
right. So with it being so I definitely will retain the and structure writing of the music and the lyrics. As I get people involved, other people involved to play the music live, who are more accomplished musicians than myself, and they want to add their to it to make it that much better, by all means, more than welcome, better. But
Do you,
I
do you
definitely
plan?
want to keep go ahead.
Do you plan on doing like an axe wound type project with Nordic Frost? Kind of, if you get that metaphor, how axe wound was different big band members combined together on one project, or is this going to be just people you yourself are connected with in your own genre?
The idea is almost like a Nine Inch Nails kind of a thing. Hired people that come
Okay.
in and play the music for live performance. He writes and records everything himself.
Mm-hmm.
Along the same lines of that.
Ah, okay. That's cool. That's cool. So, Jesus. I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue tied. So who are some of, so you are and have been like a hero and a pioneer to all these people in the metal scene, but who are your heroes and your pioneers and your goalers?
So I definitely wouldn't list myself among the hearers, um, but thank you. As far as inspirations, kind of widespread. I've got so I mean I've got a lot of influence from you know bands like Tool and Primus, Cradle of Filth, Cattle Decapitation, down to Marilyn Manson. It's a wide gamut of music that I listen to. So like okay, well I get influence from this guy, and then this guy over him. So
Would you say that
I hear music that
Would you say that you have any influence from classic rock? Now, this is an interesting question because this goes. I know we all listen to like black metal and death metal and grunge and all this other way, but it all had to come from a stepping stone from classic metal. But do you have any classic music influence?
absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. So the length album that Nordic Frost released of Blast has a hidden bonus song at the very end of the last track and cover song.
Nice, nice. I have
So
to go on.
I do influence from bands like Zeppelin, from Pink Floyd, Vocal. There's so many great classic rock bands that it's hard to list them all.
Judging by the way that you not only play the music but you hold the music, I imagine that you hold music as in a whole of uh, redemption. Redemption's not the word, but you know what I mean. It's you hold it in a form of inspiration. Like you hold it close.
Absolutely. For me, music, it's inspirational, it's a lifestyle. But more than anything, really brutal lyrics and your writing may come across to some as being overly aggressive. I find it very cathartic for
Mhm.
the negative outlet for releasing that negativity in a
Mhm.
positive
Mhm.
way.
I hear that. That's a good way. That's actually very much the same way as most guests that I've talked to about music, is that a lot of people in death metal, in general death metal from the Central Valley as well as higher up, all feel that by getting out the worst of lyrics is the best way to get out negative emotions. Or if you're not getting out emotions, you're playing it like a horror film, or like, it's that. So it's not as much. One of the things that I greatly and constantly bring out as a concept is that people in death metal are not violent, evil, brutal as much as we are just loving to write and loving to play out our scenarios in our music. Like, we can write, and I'm pretty sure some people have written about, horror slashers cutting up this chick's whatever for, Valentine's Day, and they've eaten her. Of course, like, that doesn't mean that the singer that doing this is gonna go out and murder some girl with a butcher knife. It means that they're like, oh, cool. What if I remember watching this film and they did something like this? I think this would make a good song. And it's like, this is a concept that
Right,
people, not only in metal but in rock and just musicians, have been trying to push into the general population for uh, centuries, no, more than that, since the church, they got a hint of anti-Christianism. So it says a lot for, people like you who are pushing forward through that, and you still hold that as a high point. A lot of people are like, oh, you know what, this got kind of dark, I don't think I want to keep listening to it. You're like, dude, let's keep going.
right. Yeah, I'm just in America where, we have the freedom of speech to be able to do this. Currently, the singer for the band Behemoth, Adam Dork, right now defending himself against blasphemy charges in me. That's an
Ugh.
actual crime in other places in the world. I feel like as we have an obligation to speak out against that shit. We have an obligation to stand on a pedestal in front of the fucking world and say enough is enough.
Right, knock this off. I mean, we've passed this point. Guys, come
Right.
on. Like, there are people out here that who are in black metal who are working churches. Give us a break. Finally, give us something.
Yeah.
I have to say, it's a breath of fresh air. To not just to hear this on a constant reel, but to have it like repeated in a way that people understand it. People are constantly going through, you name a situation people are going through, and they're like, you know what, the reason why I listen to this is so I know someone has as much of a connection towards this as I do when I'm having a bad day. One of the things, who said this? Who said this? I think Kirk Salazar said this in Sworn to the Black. He said when I go to the bar, when I go up on stage, I am giving all of my negatives. I'm getting out all of it. I am basically throwing up all of my negative situations, emotions, bad habits. All of it is coming out of me in that scream. And I know that I can do that, and everybody in front of the stage is feeling this. And that's when I get out. That's when, after I walk off stage, and I wipe things off. I wipe myself off because they're sweaty at the end, and then I go out, go home, and I feel refreshed. And that's the thing that people just won't. I just feel will never understand unless you're there. Like I'm gonna quote a YouTube video. There was someone that actually said this. I said, "There's this boy that's sitting in the front seat with his mom, and this guy, 16, 17, is listening to Of Mice and Men's uh, Second in Sleep Rate, and that song's nothing but screams, nothing but yells,
Right,
and the
right.
mom says." And the mom looks over and says, "Dude, like, son, this sounds like he's murdering someone. Like, he's setting himself on fire." And the little boy stops, looks at his mom, and says, "Mom, he's actually crying. He's actually saying a prayer to his mom that was killed when he was born." It's like, how can you not understand? How can you not get this? And that's
It
what
goes
I'm.
back to the original. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna continue on with the process, but continue with your thought.
That was literally just original adage. Never judge a book by its cover.
Right.
Know what you're listening to. And even if you're reading the lyrics, you don't know what that means to the person that's sitting there behind the microphone.
Right. That's the big one. Um, one of the things that just makes a lot of sense is that when you listen, I feel like the whether it's metal, whether it's metalcore or anything of that genre, I notice that when whoever is around is listening to this band, and you can name whatever band is going to do this because they all do it, is that when they listen to a band that's playing metal, they're secularizing. I think I said that right. They're separating those that are true fans from those that are fake fans, because the true fans will say, "Hey, this sounds really cool. I'm gonna go look up exactly what this means," and they'll go online and they'll read up the lyrics and they'll get a deeper meaning of the band and what they're singing. And then the person that's not will go, "Ugh, they're screaming. I better get out of here." So
Yeah.
the reason that I'm bringing this out, and I'm starting to ramble at this point, was that when I listened to a lot of your music, and I listened, and I think it was called Edge. I think it was called Edge of Humanity. It's something like that. I apologize. I didn't memorize the title. But when I was listening to it, I was looking at the lyrics because it was a lyric video, and it greatly was dark, but it was dark in a way that people understand. It was talking about, I've gone through this many, you know, gunshots, and all in all, I'm still walking as if I own the world. Or it's along that line where you understand he's screaming and he's getting a lot out of it, but he's actually understand but you understand where the darkness is coming from. And I really like that about Nordic Frost, because yes, you scream a lot, like a lot, but the screaming is where you understand it. And that's the big thing for Nordic Frost that always touched me.
I appreciate that beyond measure, man.
It takes a metal fan. It takes a metal fan to love a metal fan. So, do you mind if we continue on, if possible?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Okay, so, what the fuck? So the question that I'm going back to would be based in your history, and we were touching a little bit on that about your inspirations. Now, continue on that exactly, and going back to the inspirations. Have you had any stage experience with people or with bands of your uh, inspirations or people of that are big right
Um, define stage experience with
now?
outside or
Maybe
playing shows with them or
festival, show, stage, whatever stories you got going on. What stories you got?
we had a book with all the experiences, but we'll kind of keep it simple, take up too much time with it. But no, I one of the biggest was that was I was in a Kara stage with those guys. Those are
We're having technical
fucking
difficulty.
they're legends.
Okay, back up. Sorry,
Um,
I'm gonna
yes.
ask you to back up. We had a technical difficulty for a second.
Now though, yeah.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Keep
Okay.
going.
Okay. So what I getting to play with the band Death Angel, that was one that was for the books. That and what was the name? In Sacramento. It's, I don't know
Niviane.
why that. No, it's Cal Expo. So it was like a tattoo and music festival, and we actually got to
Oh
play.
shit, that's sick. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that one. I didn't get to go, but I remember that I had a chance to work that, but I had some issues, so I didn't. How was that?
So we were 15 minutes late to our set. That was kind of shitty, but we did get to play, and the turnout was really good by the end of the night. Really good by the end. Still really good in terms of a local show, but for a large arena like that, it wasn't. We had like 50 people watching us, which still for a local show, that's that was definitely one. And then the other big one was getting to play with Arsis. That was fucking killer.
Nice.
But in terms of like actually working the stage, there's been a lot of different bands that I've worked for over the years, but fucking work as a stagehand for.
Right. That's true. I wanted to admit that you were also a stagehand as well as a stage engineer.
Of all trades, but as close to it as I can find myself.
There you go. There you go. I guess the more hats you wear, the more valuable you are.
To an if nothing else, it's an education in as many different fields as the brain wrapped around.
So, I guess so. Death Angel, Artist, and so these guys, how what was it? I guess for Death Angel, first and foremost, how did you guys interact with these guys? These guys, Death Angel is top of the top, or one of the top of the tops, I should say.
We didn't get to interact with them at all.
You didn't.
Nope.
So it was. So I'm
But
guessing.
there was the notoriety of being.
Sorry, go on. So are you saying that even though you didn't have any uh, stage experience with them, you still got to interact with them, or they were just gone when you got there?
No, exactly the opposite. We did not get to interact with them. We got to play the same stage the same night.
Oh man, I'm sorry. That must have been a blowout.
Hey, that happens almost every single time there's a reason. That's just how the industry works. So you really catch somebody's attention like that, the headliners usually will stick around to openers and pay attention to what's going on beforehand. But for the most part, most of the bands that we've opened for that were really friendly, really active. Aside from Death Angel, did not get to talk to any of those. But I mean, we've had the opportunity. Those guys are fucking super chill. Got to hang out with. And Stone Recording was recorded by the guitarist of Skin Lab.
Oh, sick!
So,
there you go. Actually, Skin Lab was there was an episode of Talking Shop with the Boss in the Box with Dave Ussery and Brendan Blacker, where they actually tagged Skin Lab as a guest, and that was actually really sick. Like there were some stories on there that just blew my mind. And
he's an
you had
awesome dude, man.
oh he is he definitely is. I'd like to have him as a guest as possible, but that's like that's royalty right there. I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
Just reach out to him. Reach out to him and ask him. I'm sure he'd be down.
Wow. I'll stick to my circles first, and maybe later. So, so you are now starting, or you have for a while stopped Etched in Stone, and are now on to Norse Frost. Tell us more on that one.
So, blackened death metal. It's brutal, and right now that's kind of the way
So there's
that
no
I'm
melodic.
living life. I'm sorry.
So there's no melodic in this one.
Oh, there is. There is. That's the symphonic aspect. There's actually a few little elements of folk thrown in there. There are clean vocals. If you go back to the very first EP, the last song on that EP is primarily acoustic
Oh, sick.
track with clean vocals and all that jazz.
So
I
uh,
do want to mix into it.
there you go. So on the talk about clean vocals versus screamo, do you plan on doing a uh, like a metalcore bass at all, where you do a lot of singing and then like heavy screaming, or is this mainly death metal like how Jamie Salazar does it in
Bavmorda.
oh my god, I forgot.
Um,
She is going to kill me. I forgot the name of her band. I'm sorry, Jamie. I love you. I'm sorry.
it is primarily black metal. It's very much heavy with the screaming. I do some more melodic cleans over the course, very few and far between.
I gotcha. I gotcha. So you are remotely doing the leveling of metal types also for Nordic Frost as well. while staying in the main genre of death metal?
More black metal than death metal, but yeah.
I see. There you go. It's always good to have your concepts down. I've learned that is if you don't have your boxes labeled, you're all over the place. I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah. No,
So
it's fine for a project like this because the project itself.
there you go. So, do you we've covered Nordic Frost, and we've also covered Etched in Stone. Now, off of the music aspect, do you plan on doing Stone Graphics or Stone production uh, further, while or off doing Nordic Frost?
StoneGraphics has kind of taken on a kind of its own to where I couldn't relinquish that if I tried. So that's just a permanent, really never going to go away.
Right.
Now, I am taking personal commissions right now, just because I'm so slammed. But as far as like all the labels that I do design work and all that jazz,
Yes,
I
I have to say that the label that you did for HexHeart Promotions is badass. Even now, I rock it. Like, I remember you actually gave that to me one Christmas. You're like, "Hey, it's this season, dude. I made this for you," and I'm like, "Oh shit, that's badass." Like, I don't know, I rock. I don't know where I don't post that. Like, I will post that on my websites. I'll post that on my Facebook. I'll post that on my phone. It's like, dude, this is bad ass. And it's like, you did that. And dude, I don't know how many times I can thank you for that. Like, you rocked it.
I'm just stoked you enjoy it.
Your art is spot on. Your shading, I mean, it's beautiful. And dude, get a get a hold of this guy. Get a hold of this guy for your art. Whether it's graphics, whether it's flyers, whether it's bands. I mean, get a hold of this guy. He's good. So we're gonna continue along. And I'm gonna ask you, and this is a very big one that I'm supposed to do beforehand, but I figure since I already promoted you a little bit, where can we reach you?
Well, for Nordic Frost, you can find Nordic Frost on Facebook /Nordic Frost Music. You can purchase music on Bandcamp, preferably above any other platform, music.bandcamp.com, or you can go over to thefrostmusic.com. We're on Instagram and just recently started Nordic Frost Music.
Is it also on YouTube also?
So yeah, YouTube. The official page, not quite sure if the username is what I think it is.
I think one of them is just Etched in Stone. That's its own user.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it has not happening anymore. Oh, yeah. There's not a channel description page for it. So you would just go on YouTube and search for that, and then obviously, I mean, if you're looking at Stone at all, Etched in Stone Music, and for StoneGraphics. It's StoneGraphics 209 on all of the major.
There you go. I have to say, like, if not on YouTube, if it's not on YouTube, I'm sure we can find you also on the Play Store and everywhere else. You're practically everywhere.
Yeah, you can get all the Nordic Frost music aside from the brand, not on Spotify or any of that yet, but all available on Spotify, Apple Music, the place, Deezer, all the majors.
So thinking on these four, what would you say is the what would you say is your greatest moment in music if you can come up with a top five?
Great. For myself,
For you, for your band, whatever your choice.
let's see. Number one is going to be the day that I got an email when we were in Etched in Stone about a video wanting to license our music to be out in 2010 called Supremacy MMA. It was an editing game.
Oh, you're on a video game?
If you hold on just a second, I actually have the game. I can show you. 2 seconds.
Okay, go for it.
The game. Can you see that? Supremacy MMA.
Oh shit! It's like you said, it's an MMA game. So that's sick.
This was actually one of the more brutal MMA games I've owned and shit, dude. It's like Mortal Kombat meets MMA.
You ever played Mortal Kombat? You ever watched Mortal Kombat? You can't get any more brutal than ripping spines out of people's bodies.
And then if you look in the booklet, there is here at the very bottom of the second row, I don't know if you can see it or not, of Unknown, written by Brian Lewis.
That's awesome, dude. Sick.
So that was like, shit, we did something right.
That's probably number one right there, yeah.
So that one gets the best things. Second would be when that got us that deal with the video game, when they became a record label and signed Nordic, like,
there you go.
It's gotta be, things are happening. And then the other three have to be that Nordicfrost has done since that. It's a fast up anytime soon.
Wow, nice. A video game. Shit, man, you hit the top. I mean, honestly, I have to say, I can't say that even Niviane actually hit. I can't say Norman Skinner hit a video game. I mean, you know what? I have to. You guys are there. If not, you're almost there. I mean, you taking you. Where's my finger? You taking Fox Hollow, and then Norman Skinner and Niviane. I mean, you guys are three of the top Central Valley that have hit it, and you're still doing it. I mean, I don't know. what more to say? You're getting fame, my friend. It's amazing.
So you said that, had no idea Niviane was from the Central Valley.
Sacramento.
I gotta say, I don't know why I always pegged them as a Bay Area band. That's good to know.
you should hit him up sometime.
Well, I do a lot of work for their label.
There you go. There you go. So continuing on, so we talked about your history of Nordic Frost. We've taken shots at Etched In Stone. We talked about StoneGraphics, and we talked and Stone Production. It's a little bit mysterious. What is Stone Productions?
So Stone Wolf Production, I guess was, sure present tense is more fitting. It's a production company that founded by Eric Wolford, Etched In Stone's lead guitarist, in a need to fill a gap. The Central Valley dried up and there was only like one or two promoters in the area. We took it upon ourselves to start booking shows and bringing in talent and provide another outlet for the bands in the area.
Do you intend to continue?
Not at this time. Really intend to resurrect that anytime soon. G Fires. I think Eric is doing something now with that. So, more maybe when things kind of slow down for me and other aspects back in and do what I can to help out and participate as best as I can. But for now, that's one of those things that I kind of have to put on the back burner.
Right. You need to. I think that's what we're all doing. Is we're all bunking down and doing things outside of music because we can't really do music right now. I'm podcasting.
Right.
Doing their own thing. Nothing but losers are doing their thing. Bavmorda is doing their thing. All of us are, for now, even though we love to do music, we really can't do music right now. We're all doing our own. What was it that someone said? Someone said this side hustle. Everyone has their side hustle right now that they're doing until we get back into music.
Right. And we're so fucking close to June 15th. The restrictions are lifted. And being
I just felt that relief. I felt it. Just
I'm excited.
Getting the ability to get back out there, I'm probably for the first couple of weeks after the rehabilitation, whatever, is taken off. I'm probably gonna still wear my mask a little bit just to make sure. Obviously, I'm vaccinated. I'm pretty sure you're vaccinated. I'm pretty sure all of us are vaccinated. So
I got my 5G string.
there you go. You gotta hold up your card. Multi-pass. All right. Wow, I just can't believe I made a Fifth Element joke. I can't believe I joked about that. So in the scheme of things, we talked about how you have connected with higher up people. How many shows have you done with your local heroes and your local peers? I'm pretty sure that there are several times that you connected with. I remember there are several flyers that had you and Harlot Exile, Bavmorda, Nothing But Losers, Brutal Innocence. I mean, anything on 209 Metal Productions for sure with Mike Vanek. were on at some point or another with others?
Man, I don't think I could actually count the amount. I mean, you got to think at 12 fucking of doing it just under the name Etched in Stone, not including before Etched in Stone, Let This Die, and Heretic. I mean, 2 decades worth of fucking playing shows. I couldn't count them all. I couldn't count all the bands either that have come and gone. That it's too great a number and too much time.
You tell me you're not a pioneer.
Definitely not. There were plenty that were doing it before I did it.
Oh, that's true. That's true. There are plenty of people that were rocking 209 metal when I was a stagehand that rocked it hard, and I can't remember what's it called. It's like click H horror machete cock. That was an interesting one. Oh my god. Jesus, there's like so many scribbles. It's hard to remember them all. That was the thing about metalheads is that you take a picture of a scrap of metal, a scrap of trees. And, hey, look, it's a metal band. Get it, metal band.
Yep.
That was bad. Oh my god, I'm probably gonna delete that. So you've been in music for a long time. When did this start? Take us back to the very beginning start of Brian Lewis and before Etched in Stone. How did you become Etched in Stone?
Oh Christ. So let's see. Let's take it back to the beginning. Would 13 years old, give or take a year or two, guitar, and joining up with some bunch of high school kids at the time, and really make some live shit happen. That eventually led to a project that pushed even further inside of Modesto and playing, places like Los Banos and Dale and all these other places that were the surrounding area. At that point, really getting a core group of people who would become Etched in Stone. It was definitely a long journey to get to the stone even forming, and then from the point that it formed to the 15 when we called it a day, long process.
Ugh, sounds that way.
But you know what? The 20 years that I've been doing this so far, change it for the fucking world, man.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, I think anyone in our scene knows that, it's work, but it's so fulfilling. It's not just so fulfilling, it's so fulfilling. I mean, you're getting to go out and do stuff that people dream about. And even though you don't get paid very often, there is this traditional saying that if you're looking for money, you're in the wrong business. But imagine what you are doing, people dream about, and what you are doing could only happen because of something that you've done to get to that point. I mean, not just me for promoting, but you for Nordic Frost, you for Etched in Stone, you for StoneGraphics, and like everything that you've done, everything that I've done, everybody in the music scene has been because everyone in our life, everyone in our lives has gotten to a point where they got to where they are, and it's
Right.
feel it, feel it, man.
So, what you just said, the conception is that if you're in it for the money, you're in it for the. Honestly, that is the truth. That is absolutely the truth. Music for the music. You're in it for that connection that transcends spoken word. Is a way to communicate with other human beings, to relate feelings that may not even speak the same language as you. And that's a beautiful, but the money is important. Definitely important, especially when you are printing merch, when you are printing
That's
CD
true.
pockets for these things. So it's kind of like, a lot of people and a lot of bands for being sticklers about getting paid for shows and getting sticklers about getting paid for merch, and it's like, yeah, you give it away where you can. I'm not out to make a shitload of money,
Mm-hmm.
but I do not be in debt. That's the big one. Is my
Mm-hmm.
main thing is as long as I'm breaking
Even
right.
one of the things I very much have mentioned on a constant basis is that when I promote, I don't look for the money. Like if I made like $20, whatever, it would be good for me. Or if not, I don't make any money, and I'm still okay with it because my part as a promoter is to make sure the bands that played on my stage get paid. That is my position. Now there are people that
100%.
there are people that argue like, well, your business isn't growing. I'm fine with that. I got a house, I've got food, I've got a home. I'm not scraping. I can afford this. Greatly,
Right.
one of the things that I'm constantly saying is that when I go to a show, when my at the end of the day, when my show is done and and those sweaty musicians are walking off the stage sweaty and tired and beaten because they really played their heart out. It is nothing if not a blessing to walk up to them and go, guys, you kicked ass out there, here's what you deserve. And that is the feeling of a lifetime for a promoter. And that maybe this
Oh,
is maybe this is just me. I know there's many people who are shady out there that make their own interests screwing bands, but that's not my interest. I don't hurt people like that. I love what I do. I promote because I love doing this. It's a part that I can do that very little people can do, which is actually true. There's not very many promoters out there right now, I will have to say. I wish there was more. But honestly, that's my position. My position isn't to get the money, it's to give the money. And I love that part of the job.
yeah. That we threw under Stoneproductions, I have the same gratifying to being able to hand, a band their money and being like, hey, you guys were fucking phenomenal. Here you go. That rewarding feeling. And, I feel that attitude about it, then be in much better shape than it is.
I honestly feel that if everybody had the same view as me, we would have a lot more promoters. We'd have a lot more shows for
We
that matter.
would. We would.
I was honestly throwing an idea around a little bit before COVID actually dropped. I was thinking of having like a school slot with Modesto sound, and or around or something like that, where we have classes for musicians, we have classes for techs and engineers. Why haven't we had a class for promoting yet? I think that would greatly, that's the weak part of our scene, that if we bring that up, we'll have a lot more shows, a lot more bands, a lot more connections. But maybe that's something that we just don't have the interest of doing.
I think times out of 10, being a promoter really is a thankless job. And it's also, I mean, you know, as a promoter, you don't get fucking paid. And to go give back to the community. People are not out to convertible, if you will. They're about money. They're about getting paid. We've become human beings. And seeing it pervert even the metal scene, it's disheartening.
Sadly, but it honestly is, you know honestly, down to the bones of the job. It's still got a lot of positive in it. I mean, all in all,
Oh, 100%.
I would honestly, if I had a choice, if I could go back in time and have that chance to be a lights engineer, lights tech, sound tech, or a promoter, I would probably still take being a promoter. 100%.
Really?
Definitely. 100%. I mean, honestly, yeah, there are perks and uh, fails, I guess, in my lifetime that was for being a tech and for being sound and lights. But honestly, I feel that when it came down to it and I actually got into it, promoting just was it for me. I mean, tech was fun. I got to jump on the stage. I got to, plug things in. I got to roll things up. But honestly, no, promoting, 100%. I'll take promote 10 times over tech or lights any day.
Good deal.
So yeah. I think we're just about out of our questions. I'm gonna ask you again one more time. How can we reach you?
So easiest way is via either Nordic Frost on Facebook music or Instagram at Nordic Frost, and new TikTok Nordic Frost music, or even via nordicfrostmusic.com. You at nordicfrostmusic.bandcamp.com, preferred platform, because Bandcamp kicks ass and all the other platforms like Spotify. But in any case, on the rapier platforms like Spotify and
Sorry, it's true.
yeah, and and then as far as StoneGraphics go, main socials all at StoneGraphics 209, and yeah. And
All
before
right.
I forget too, in
Oh,
case anybody didn't know, it's
all
finally
right.
in and shipping.
His CD came out.
This
Nordic
is
Frost
the
has finally come out. Buy this shit. Buy this shit. It's good.
Nordic
Personal
Frost,
promotion.
Sovereign.
Sovereign.
I had to do it.
Of course, of course. I was gonna ask you to do it anyway. Um, so as always, guys, you can find me under HexHeart list on YouTube. Oh wait, you can't do that now. Sorry. You can find me under Chris Hex Heart. Um, I'm Chris Heartless. You can find me under Christopher Pagano on Facebook. You can find Hex. You can find Christopher Pagano on YouTube. I've got videos on there. I've got music on there. I've got bands on there. Um, and then under Chris HexHeart on YouTube, there is going to be this podcast, which will be number 11. Hex meets the Nordic One. I kind of coined that, if that's okay with Brian over here. And all the others, the other 10, which you have Taking Fox Hollow, you have Niviane, Suburban Paranoia, and the list goes on. Upcoming will be on Thursday, Patrick Donovan of A Toy Called God. He's going to be my guest on Thursday, and on Friday, the special will be Abel Valtorres of Line Court, of the guitarist, and we're gonna talk shit and just shoot it out there on Friday. And yeah, guys, thanks for listening. This was an hour long. This was an hour long one, and I thank you for sticking along. Brian Lewis, thank you for being my guest.
Hey,
And
thanks for having me, man. It's been a blast.
well, I'll see you around. And as always, guys, we make today.
Hell yeah. Cheers, man.